Hey, my friend, let me ask you something. When you first heard George Pickkins was coming to Dallas, what was your honest reaction? Because if you were anything like most Cowboys fans, you probably had mixed emotions. Excitement? For sure. The man's talent is undeniable. But let's be real. There was also that little voice in your head whispering concerns about his attitude, wasn't there? Well, here's the kicker. George Pickkins just gave his first interview since being traded to the Cowboys. And everything he said? Man, it was perfect. Not good for him or better than expected. I mean perfect. Every word sounded like it came from someone who knows exactly where he is, what's at stake, and how rare this opportunity is. Now, this wasn't a flashy in-person press conference. It was a conference call with the media, Jane Slater, Nick Harris, Clarence Hill, Patrick Walker, you name it. All the top Cowboys insiders were on it. And Pickkins? He didn't fumble a single word. The first thing he mentioned, that Dak Prescott was one of the first players to reach out to him. Let that sink in. No ego, no drama, just appreciation and connection. He said he's grateful to be in Dallas and called Dak a prolific, smart quarterback. You could hear the respect in his tone. Even more impressive, Pickkins dodged the contract year drama with total poise. When asked about it, he said he's focused on where his feet are right now, that he's here to build something with this team. That kind of maturity isn't canned media talk. It's awareness. And let me tell you, he said the phrase winning culture 6 times in 12 minutes. You think that's an accident? But I want to hear from you. Based on what you've heard so far, do you think George Pickkins can change the narrative and become a leader in Dallas? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading every one of them. Vote below. A. He's already proving it. B. Still gotta see it on the field. C. Not convinced yet? Ready? Because this is just, getting started. All right. Let's keep this conversation going. Because here's where it gets even more interesting. When George Pickkins was asked what feels different now that he's a Cowboy, he didn't hesitate. He said, "It's a real family here." Now, I don't know about you, but that's the kind of answer that makes you lean in a little closer. Think about where he's coming from. The Steelers are one of the most historic franchises in the NFL, no doubt. But over the past 2 years, something always felt off between Pickkins and that front office. Whether it was the quarterback situation, the scheme, or just a personality clash, it was never a smooth fit. But here in Dallas, you can already tell he feels welcomed, and more importantly, understood. Pickkins praised the Cowboys organization for making things simple, for making him feel supported from day one. He said he noticed a clearer focus in Dallas. That's a big statement. Because what you're hearing between the lines is that this isn't just a team change. It's a culture shift for him. He even said the expectations here are higher, and that he likes that. That tells you everything about where his mindset is. This isn't a guy looking to coast on talent. This is a player who's hungry to prove something, and maybe prove it to himself more than anyone else. He talked about how much easier it is to lock in when everyone around you is pulling in the same direction. And let's be real, for a guy who was seen as high maintenance in Pittsburgh, that kind of buy-in speaks volumes. But now I've got to turn this around to you. Do you think Dallas can bring out the best in Pickkins because of the culture here? Or are we setting ourselves up for another disappointment? Drop a comment with your take. And while you're at it, here's another poll for you. What's the biggest factor in George Pickkins succeeding in Dallas? A. Coaching and scheme. B. QB chemistry with Dak. C. Locker room leadership. D. His own maturity and growth. We're just getting into the good stuff now. Ready for Chapter 3? All right, now let's take it a step further. We've talked about how George Pickkins feels about Dallas, but what about the on-field connection between him and Dak Prescott? Pickkins is coming into a system that's pretty locked in at quarterback with Dak under center. Now, for a player like Pickkins, that's crucial. We all know how much the QBWR connection can shape a career. Remember when Michael Irvin joined the Cowboys? That connection with Eichmann helped elevate him to legendary status. But let's be real. Dak Prescott is in a different spot than Troy Aikman, right? He's more mobile, more flexible in the pocket. And for Pickkins, that's a game changer. Dak's ability to extend plays could be exactly what Pickkins needs to show off that incredible catch radius and ability to make acrobatic grabs down the field. Here's the thing, though. Dak has struggled with consistency at times. I'm sure you've noticed it. He can throw for 400 yards one week, then have a rough stretch the next. And while Pickkins is more than capable of making those jaw-dropping catches, his success in Dallas is going to depend a lot on Dak's ability to stay in rhythm. So how do we solve that puzzle? Pickkins needs to adjust his game to complement Dak's strengths. Think quick slants, route-running precision, and taking the top off the defense. And Dak needs to trust Pickkins to win those 50-50 balls, especially in clutch situations. We know Dak can be a gunslinger at times, but trust is something that builds over time. Now I'm curious, what do you think? Will Pickkins and Dak gel right away, or do you think it's going to take some time to work out the kinks? Let's get another poll going here. How long will it take for Pickkins and Dak to develop a strong chemistry? A. Right away. Instant connection. B. Mid-season. C. By next season. D. They'll never fully click. Drop your thoughts below. And if you're excited to see how this plays out, make sure to hit that like button. All right, now we've established how George Pickkins could mesh with Dak Prescott. But where exactly does he fit in the Cowboys' receiver room? The Cowboys have a crowded receiving corps, right? CeeDee Lamb is the clear number one, and we all know what he brings to the table. Elite route running, great hands, and the ability to make plays at every level of the field. But after Lamb, it's been a bit of a rotation at WR2, with guys like Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, and even rookie Treshaun Holden in the mix. Here's where things get interesting. Pickkins, with his size and skill set, could easily slot in as that dynamic WR2. His ability to stretch the field, make contested catches, and be a deep threat is something this offense could really use. The problem is, so could Gallup, Cooks, or even a healthy rookie like Holden, assuming he's ready to make an impact. So, what's the best-case scenario for Pickkins? Well, he'd be coming into a situation where he doesn't have to be the guy right away thanks to Lamb's presence. That takes some of the pressure off. But at the same time, it also means he'd have to fight for targets. If he can build chemistry with Dak quickly, he could quickly become the go-to second option on many passing downs, especially with his ability to make tough catches in traffic. What's great about Pickkins is that he doesn't need to be the star. He can excel in that complementary role, using his unique talents to make an impact when the Cowboys need him the most. So, how do you see this playing out? Could George Pickkins take over that WR2 role right away, or does someone else have the edge? Poll time. Who is the best fit for WR2 in 2025? A. George Pickkins. B. Michael Gallup. C. Brandon Cooks. D. Treshaun Holden. Drop your thoughts below and let's see who's leading the pack. As we wrap up, let's circle back to the most intriguing part of this whole George Pickkins scenario, the trade rumors. We've all heard the buzz around the Cowboys looking to make moves before the start of the season, whether it's for a receiver, a defensive playmaker, or just to shake things up. The trade winds are definitely blowing in Dallas. So, how does George Pickkins fit into that equation? If the Cowboys are genuinely interested in bolstering their receiver corps, Pickkins would be an interesting target. He's young, talented, and has all the physical tools you could ask for. But here's the thing. Trade rumors come with a lot of speculation and uncertainty. The question becomes, what would the Cowboys have to give up to land Pickkins? And is it worth it? It's clear that the Cowboys are in a win-now mode, and adding a player like Pickkins could be the missing piece they need. The Pittsburgh Steelers, on the other hand, might be looking to offload him if they feel like they're not maximizing his potential in their offense. But that's still up in the air. The biggest factor in all of this? The Cowboys' cap space. With the new deals for Dak and CeeDee, plus some other roster moves, their financial flexibility isn't what it used to be. So, Any trade involving Pickkins would likely require some salary juggling or offloading a player like Gallup, Cooks, or even a defensive piece to make it work. Could George Pickkins really be the Cowboys' answer at WR2? The trade rumors say it's possible, but we'll have to wait and see how the front office plays it. Question: if the Cowboys do make a move for George Pickkins, what's the most you'd be willing to give up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you trade a 2025 draft pick, a current player, or something else? Let's talk about it.